Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Luxury Podcast, your source for all things luxury and lifestyle. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Michael Trugman on the line, and he is a health coach. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on, Adam.
All right, so I haven't had a health coach on in a while, and I'm excited to get into today's topic with you because, for one, I probably need some good coaching here, and we're going to get into the benefits of primary foods, and I'm excited to pick your brain about that one. But before we do, I'd like to give myself and the audience a little bit of a better feel for your overall practice. Tell us a little bit more about your work as a health coach, please.
Sure, Adam. So when you hear the word diet, what do you think about? That's a question for you.
Can't have.
Can't have. That's right. So people will tend to go towards bland, restrictive. They might say things like eat less, move more, cut calories, and it takes the fun out of eating. So as a health coach, I like to reinvigorate the fun in eating, and I help people find simple, sustainable, and enjoyable solutions for their health plans because eating is meant to be a pleasurable experience. So it doesn't need to be restrictive calorie cutting type of dieting.
Yeah, and that's what I always think. So when you said, what do I think? Or I think I can't have, like, what can't I have? What don't I get to do because now I'm on this diet? So that's where my head goes first. But I've heard from others that you can actually eat more and eat well and be satisfied. And so let's go a little bit further into the benefits of primary foods and what that means. So first, maybe start out with defining primary foods for us, please.
Sure. So primary foods are the areas of your life that are not actually nutrition related that contribute to your health. So stress management, sleep, your connection with other people and with your purpose. What do you do for fun? What's your home environment like? So all these things that we wouldn't necessarily equate to health that really impact our health just as much or more than what we're putting into our body food-wise.
That's interesting. So how have you found, and I know this is going to vary, by the way, from obviously client to client, person to person, like their history with health, all these things. I know there's a lot of things that vary, but what do you find are some of the common themes of why people go wrong kind of on this path?
Well, most people go wrong. I think it starts from the stress portion and being very much immersed in our jobs and thinking that we have to be on the clock at all times and not taking any time for ourselves. And so that stress then cascades into sleep. And sleep is one of the most important things that we can do. And for some reason, none of us make any time for it. So when sleep is all out of sorts, then your energy is going to be all out of whack the next day, and your hormones are also out of whack as well. So then you're feeling hungry when you normally wouldn't be hungry, and it becomes this vicious, perpetuating cycle.
Let's talk a little bit more about your practice and kind of the actual process and how you're helping your clients, because there's a lot of people listening right now, and we have I know you're in the New York area, we have a big audience in New York, and, some people are looking for a health coach, and they've been looking for it for a long time, and they're looking for who's going to be the right fit for them. So maybe give us a little look under the hood of what you're doing to help your clients.
Sure. So I always start with a health history, and that's just a 2 or 3 page form that goes over what the client's goals are, maybe what they're eating right now, what they ate when they were younger. So I have an idea of what it was like growing up in their household, their ancestry, and then other health concerns that they might have outside of eating. So I always start with that consultation. Then the second thing I would say is, once someone's enrolled with me, I focus, you spoke about how dieting to you means you can't have. I focus on what I call crowding out. And that's just adding in a couple of things that they're not currently eating, focusing on those, what you want to add, instead of focusing on all those things that you can't have.
So give us an example of that, just for example.
Okay, so let's just say I'll take my own personal example. When I first started to eat healthy, I didn't even touch vegetables at all. I was just a meat and potatoes type of person. And what my initial experience with dieting was that I had to completely overhaul that and switch everything about my eating habits. So instead of doing that, I would advise maybe don't even change anything except have one vegetable per day. That's just a quick, easy add. And maybe you're not going to see the immediate weight loss results from that, but I'm not selling the quick fix with my health coaching. I'm offering a solution to long-term feel better and sustainably have a plan that you can follow, hopefully for the rest of your life. I want to render myself completely unnecessary by the time we're through working together.
Man, that's a great selling point. I'm not going to lie. The whole point of working with you is so that you don't work with you one day, so that you achieve your goal and that you're on the right path. Let's talk about sustainable habits and what that looks like going forward, because I feel like some of these, I like that you have the longer term approach and the longer term focus versus some of those kind of like just fads or do it now, but it's not sustainable. Let's talk about sustainability and habits.
Sure. So let's take the example of someone who wakes up at 8 a.m. every day and they're told in some self-help book that it's best to wake up at 5 a.m. I would tell that person, that's great. It's all well and good to wake up really early, but let's just start setting the alarm 5 minutes earlier, 7:55. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you'd be able to wake up at 7:55? And if my client goes, I don't know, I'm kind of at like a 4 or 5, then that might be a little bit too hard. So I want to kind of confidence test where they're at. And if they're at least 70 to 80% sure that they can get that done and make that step, then that's a better place to start than telling them, okay, you're waking up way too late, and then bashing on their habits and telling them they have to do something completely drastic. So it's really just about taking the area that they want to change. It's not my suggestion, it's theirs, what they want to change, and then giving them just small incremental things that they're very confident that they can achieve.
Let's talk a little bit more about delivery of service. So, and do you coach people online? Is it in person? Is it both? Give us a little bit of a flavor for that.
Yes, so ideally it would be in person, but given the times right now, I'm doing Zoom calls or FaceTime, or if people are comfortable with it, or rather they're not comfortable with video, they can always do phone calls as well. And how it looks is I do weekly 50-minute sessions. It's one-on-one counseling, and it's completely catered to whatever that person's needs are. So if someone comes to me that already feels pretty good about their nutrition plan, but just wants to make a couple of refinements around it, just a little bit of tweaks, that's fine. If someone is coming to me and wants to lose, let's say, 30 pounds, then I would cater a completely different program to their needs. But either way, it's 12 weeks, and each week is a 50-minute session. In between sessions, I'm always available to be spoken to, and if people have questions, maybe they are trying a food for the first time and need help preparing it, I always offer myself in between sessions for one-off calls as well.
That's awesome. So, Mike, that being said, if somebody is listening to this and they want to follow up to learn more about your health coaching service, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
The best way to connect is my website. It's www.miketrugman.com, or you can email me at coaching@miketrugman.com. And I'll offer my phone number as well. It's 845-300-7691.
That's awesome. Well, Mike, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your health coaching business and how you're helping people succeed. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Luxury, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Mike, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Adam. I loved it.